Scotsman. I was having these vivid dreams. It was an amazing experience, I would have to say. Lots of mental clarity. I also felt like I was in tune and tapped into my higher self, if that makes any sense. And much more conscious about what I put in the universe. Creatively, musically, some of my decisions. Digestive system was on point as well. You know, flour can back you up. And so I wasn't the healthiest vegan when I first started. Like I said, there were French fries, there were pastas, lots of rice and tortillas. But that stuff causes mucus. So I had to experience a learning curve when I first started. And when I went raw vegan, I saw the difference and I felt the difference. And so, hey, we all fall off sometimes. I'm doing this challenge right now because my first 2 weeks of quarantine, oh my goodness, I was definitely gaining some weight. And I was definitely snacking and definitely cooking pasta and vegan mac and cheese. You know what I'm saying? And it catches up. So I've been working out because I didn't like what I saw. And I didn't like how I felt on top of the layers of the things that we're experiencing in the world right now. And it adds up to no good. So I had to check myself, and we're back in business with this challenge, which is super easy for everybody to participate in. If you didn't start yesterday, you can totally start today, and put your 3 days work in. I'm paying attention to all your posts. They look great, by the way. I went on everybody's pages that tagged me, and I liked something and left a comment if you were following the rules. But it's really great to see a lot more people partaking in this year. I hope I promoted it in time and equipped you guys with much more information in the starter guide this time around. And if you have any other questions that you would like me to answer, let me know. The bugs are out. And I'll add it to my starter guide. What is your favorite fruit and vegetable? My favorite fruit in the world is called mangosteen. It tastes like heaven. It's a purple fruit on the outside, but it looks like a white flower on the inside. And they have these pods that are white, and there's a little seed in every pod. It's so hydrating, it's so sweet, but it's mild. It's better than dragon fruit to me. It's better than any other fruit I've ever had. My next favorite would be soursop and jackfruit. A lot of these fruits are exotic fruits and tropical fruits. Guineps are on the top 5 list, and something I recently discovered within the past 2 years called mame or mame sapote. There's the black sapote, or there's the orange from Fruits and Roots. It tastes like pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie, but sweeter. And it's such a great dessert, a natural dessert. It's heaven. So those are my top 5 favorites. I might have mentioned 6, but those fruits are heavenly. Mangosteen, soursop. I don't know if I mentioned jackfruit, but jackfruit for sure. Guineps and mame sapote. Something about the tropics where we belong, close to the equator, it just brings the magic. What are your favorite exercises? I don't have any favorite exercises. I just like the ones that don't hurt, to be honest. But I do like the ab twists. I like mountain climbers because that you can get in, and the sweat that you can produce, and the fat that you can burn, you don't need to be, and it's effective, you know what I'm saying? So jumping rope mode, and I would recommend getting one. My favorite thing in the world that requires other people is double dutch. Is my favorite thing in the world as far as like group exercise. It's so fun, and the cardio, oh my gosh, I'll get winded so quick doing double dutch, especially if we have some good rope turners. Today I ran 2.5 miles only. When I tell you, due to poor connection, sorry we got paused. When I tell you I was drenched, like I just had jumped out of a swimming pool or in one, the sauna suits are beast mode to be running outdoors with. I used to train boxing, sparring, and I remember in that training, we would have to wear these sauna suits. If you want to take it up a notch, make sure you have, first of all, bottle water on you. Freeze it in advance because it's going to melt just being on your body. Your body temperature raises and you hit a fat burning zone with that suit on. But do it in the sun. If you're trying to burn fat fast and shake off that water weight, get you a nice sauna suit. Go to Target or hit up Amazon.com. If you have the Big Five or whatever those sports stores are, this is the weather to do it. Because I lie to you not, I felt like I did 5 workouts in the gym. I've never sweat so much in my life than I did having the sauna suit on, just running outside for 2.5 miles. That's it. So I'm trying to burn some fat off. You know what I'm saying? I might be slim, but I still got some areas that I need to work on. Oh, are you making fun of me right now? Fried vegan chicken? Are you making fun of the time I brought some to the studio? ah. Do you do yoga too? Yes, I do a little bit of yoga. I'm not a yogi, but I've been doing lots of stretching for years as a dancer, and I implement some yoga daily, but I have to stretch daily after my exercises. Do I always do it? No. But I have a foam roller, and that also helps during my exercises, but right before, I usually have to stretch because of the tightness that occurs when you work your muscles and tear them down during your workouts. So I like to stretch, and I feel it when I need to stretch. Okie dokie. Y'all are wild. Yes, quinoa is a superfood, and it is amazing. Not everybody likes the taste, so I would suggest throwing some seasoning up in there. It's very bland. It really doesn't have much of a taste. I can definitely say that it's earthy. So add some season, add some spices. If you even want to add some jerk sauce or put it in some curry, it will save the day, and it will not give you the bloating like rice does. It also will not be heavy and give you the itis that a lot of rice does. And then another trick, obviously, is to control your portion size with just maybe a fistful versus an entire plate of your food groups. We haven't even gotten into food combining, but if you can, try not to have your meat and potatoes together. Always have a vegetable if you're going to consume meat instead of potatoes. And if you're going to consume a starch, make sure that there are also vegetables. One thing I have learned from Dr. Africa is that you always need to eat light first, your lighter meal, your appetizer, like your salads, something that has a quicker digestive time first before you consume your heavier foods and your solids. Why? Because it may cause fermentation within your gut and gas and bloating when all of those foods are combined. But what you want to do is put the lighter foods into your system because they'll digest faster and begin to flush or be carried through. However, they'll be backed up if you put the heavier foods that digest longer into your intestines. So that's just something I'm learning with food combining at this moment in time. We haven't even gotten to that phase yet, but we'll get there maybe next year or maybe the end of this year. But I thought I would share that for those that have had some issues with gas and bloating and are still eating healthy. It's about how you eat what you eat. And that is a whole different conversation. Mixing fruits and meats and all kinds of stuff is bad. Mixing vegetables and grains and nuts so much and at once will cause you some indigestion and acid reflux. But it's really interesting to kind of figure out how to do this properly because none of us were taught. So I'm determined to figure out how I can get to my best self and my best wealth just from my plate alone, And then there are several other tiers after that. But anyhow, I'm here to take some more questions before Instagram Live cuts me off. Yes, ma'am. Angie, the program definitely works, but it hurts. I can say at day 23 completed that I am able to now do the workouts in the first 2 weeks that I was not able to do. So there is progress there. I've definitely gotten stronger, and I've definitely increased my cardio and stamina for sure. I'm not winded like I used to be when I first started. So Jax can't even keep up with me when we're running our miles. I also got a pool for Jax, and he tore up his up. But I got one that's durable for dogs, and it's an XXL. He was submerged in it today. I was so happy and proud. He loves his pool. I feel like a proud mom right now. I took him for his 2.5-mile run. We had a little break in between that run because he has to stay hydrated as a Rottie. And so he got in his pool. He was super excited. He didn't lay down in it, but when we revisited it after we finished our final mile, we went back to the pool, and he submerged his whole body in it and lay down in it for a while without me telling him to sit or lay. And then come to find out, Gemma, the other dog that hates water, never seen her get in a pool before. We threw some treats in there, and she got in the entire pool. Now, she didn't sit or lay down, but it was such a hot day. It was like 95 degrees here today. She got in the damn pool. I was shocked. So Jax is loving his big old XXL doggy pool. It's durable and cute and made for animals. It's a navy blue with a red exterior. So he has his own personal pool now. We'll see how long that lasts. Anyway, here to take questions as I like to get off tangents. Any vegan babies in the cards? Not at this moment in time. We have some work to do. Is some books to write. Is some albums to make. But maybe in the future. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. Ray LC9. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. So no pastas? Absolutely not. You can totally have pastas whether you are a raw vegan, a vegan, or alkaline vegan. If you're a raw vegan, I like to create my pastas out of the following, which are cucumbers in a spiralizer, zucchini, squash, sometimes even carrots, and butternut squash. You can even do it with pumpkin, but those are really great vegetables, seeded vegetables to make your pastas with raw. And I like to make my Alfredo sauce with either a cashew or a walnut. And I soak the walnuts and cashews in water, and I blend them in a NutriBullet for about 15 minutes. I add some sea salt, maybe some herbs, maybe some onions and peppers if I'm pressed, to be fancy. But other than that, it's super easy to make your pasta with a small handheld or twistable spiralizer. And if you are at space, you can do the same thing with the alkaline vegetables on the chart on my website, mayamaya.com/lifestyle, or get you some spelt flour. Spelt as well as chickpea pastas are now sold in a lot of the whole food markets. You might be able to order them off of thrivemarket.com or wholefoods.com. You might be able to find it on amazon.com, but just type in spelt pasta, quinoa, or even chickpea pastas. A lot of those are now in your mainstream grocery stores wherever you live too. And those are alternatives that are actually alkaline. Now, vegan, you can do anything you want to. Just make sure that there's no egg in the noodle. Some of these noodles and these pastas have eggs in them, and then sometimes they're actually made in factories that produce products with eggs and milk or cheese, etc. And specify that. So you can do that. You can do gluten-free, you can do wheat-free or wheat pasta instead of the white flour pastas. There are lots of options to choose from, but if you need help and guidance regarding what those actually are and the difference between each, from raw vegan to vegan or alkaline vegan, you can go to my starter guide and there's a section. It might even be the first section, but refer to the table of contents after the welcome section. You'll be able to find it quickly so that you understand the phases of flexitarian to pescatarian to vegetarian, into veganism, into raw vegan, into alkaline vegan, organic vegan, into juicing, and so on. Fasting is one of the things that we didn't cover, but fasting is also great. Do it carefully. And when I say fasting, there's all kinds of fasting, and my guide also specifies intermittent fasting along with straight fasting, whether it be 12 hours or 24 hours, 36 to 48 or 72. It resets the body and gives the organs time to rest. If y'all are interested in continuing your fast or even jumping on board one, Shaka Bars is actually hosting one every Sunday, I believe, for 36 hours, and I think he starts at night. But check his page out and he'll announce when the next 36-hour power fast is. I've been doing it sporadically, but on my own time. So I start when I want and then end, of course, accordingly. But those are great resets too for your body, and you'll begin to see a difference. And that scale, if you're about losing weight, it will expedite the weight loss, and you will get a boost of energy unlike no other, because you're really giving your time to your body to recover and your organs to reset. And you begin craving more liquids and fresh fruits and vegetables. So it's an amazing thing to experience. It's a little scary to think about no food for that long, especially if you're around an environment that, is full of great aromas. That's the challenge right there, when nobody else is on board with you. But it's totally worth it. yeah, I might start promoting that fast along with these challenges, because it's definitely done wonders for my skin and for my sleep. And I start seeing ab lines the very next day after I'm done, before, of course, I put my next meal inside of my body. But there's magic to it. Oh, goodness. Do you like steam rooms? Those are my favorite. Yes. I love steam rooms. I love saunas. And I love to stretch in them. When I say, if you want to get flexible and you want to sort of lubricate your joints, go into a steam room and start stretching and do your yoga. If you don't know how to do yoga, your body will tell you which way it needs to be pulled and pushed, and do it in a steam room. You'll definitely elongate your muscles and recover and increase your flexibility faster. And it's great. Great for your pores, great for your skin, great for your overall well-being. Do you use waist trainers? Steph Ortiz, 27. I don't use waist trainers, but I do use a sweatband, which is different. The waist trainer won't suffocate me and won't bruise me like a corset, or like push my organs and internal organs together. Some of those things can be really harmful to your insides, and I've heard mixed reviews and criticism, so I don't bother. Oh, here come the bikes, so pardon the noise for a second. Be nice. Waist trainers I don't use for that reason, but I use sweatbands and sauna suits. Pillow Talk _2099 says, I want to go vegan, but I love my chicken and beef too much. Okay, well, I would suggest you read the starter guide. When you get a chance, and understand why to go vegan and the reasons behind it, and understand the process of those types of foods, along with the energy, the steroids, the antibiotics, the feces, the blood, the pus, the negative energy, the torture that they all carry, plus the cancer cells. Because, the food industry really doesn't care about us. And understand the why behind veganism in its totality, but also your personal health attached to that. And it can help you make a better decision. Some of the documentaries will help you under my starter guide. I've updated them, and so there are lots more added. During your downtime, Game Changers, which is fairly new. Earthlings, Cowspiracy. What's another one? More Than Honey, Seaspiracy, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. There are a lot of documentaries in there that are so helpful to watch. If you want to kind of know the behind the scenes movement and all the particular reasons of why to go vegan, outside of just your health, but also how our food supply is prepared, and then its connection with planet Earth, from deforestation to being the leading cause of climate change and global warming, to a large percentage of world hunger, being that the grains fed to animals in the animal agriculture business, basically raising cow or cattle for food consumption. Those grains are fed to those cows, but stolen from people that ultimately suffer. So a lot of layers to this, along with ocean dead zones and species extinction, pollution. It's a rabbit hole. And so if you're ready to learn the truth, please read through that guide. And being vegan does not mean rabbit food. You can still have your steak, because there's a vegan steak available for you without everything attached to it that I just mentioned. There's vegan chicken, barbecue wings, chicken tenders. A lot of options here, and it's only getting better because a lot of food companies have realized the demand, but also the truth being revealed slowly about what's put into our foods and how they're processed and how they're produced. And then it's linked to what the FDA, Food Drug Administration, arm and leg. And look, the way this administration is going, not everybody has access to free health care, and it's only going to get worse. I mean, this is a great way to reverse, to prevent, and to arm and prepare yourself for what's coming, because ultimately it's all about money at your expense and the expense of your temple and your health. So that is why I'm speaking right now, because I have watched family, the family of friends, but my own suffer. And literally what you put on your plate can improve your heart, improve your mind, improve every facet, and then you won't be reliant on a system as much as possible, of course. So this is all about independency, independent thinking, and taking matters into your own hands, but also starting with yourself so that you are always empowered. And then when it's applied to just this one area, it's also applied to other areas that are quite infiltrated and tampered with. So it's kind of like a return to God, what God intended for us to eat, honestly. And a lot of people like to make the argument about that based on certain religious books that have been rewritten. But some of the first civilization close to the equator, by the way, which is where civilization began, were vegetarians and vegans. So we have it all backwards, and we're also not quite living near the equator as most of us are supposed to be. And so we have been removed out of the habitat, removed from our foods, removed from our name, removed from our spirituality, removed from our godliness, removed from nature. So there's a huge disconnect. So every chance you get, try to reconnect to what it's really supposed to be. If there's a book that I would recommend right now, there are actually two. From spirituality to society to what used to be consumed and what is great for the human body, even food combination, I recommend this book right here, African Holistic Health by Dr. Africa. Rest in peace, he passed this year. This is the key right here to wellness. And there are many other books. I've listed them in my starter guide, but I believe I put this one first for a reason, especially for us. These are the things that we are just never taught. And if you really want to empower yourself and go against a system that's not built for you, this is so. The other one that I recommend, that I abide by, which discusses chakras, alignment, the laws of the universe, it's called The Light Shall Set You Free. It's just reconnecting to the source. And it's by Dr. Shirley McCoon and Dr. Milanovich. So those are the two books that I hold dear to my health and my well-being, my spirituality, and what I consume, my energy, what I give my time to. So those are both listed in that book section of my starter guide. mayamaya.com/lifestyle is where you can get it. And I just want to send you my love and appreciation for everybody that is interested in advancing wherever you are in your life, in all areas, because it has truly done wonders for my mind, my body, my together. The finances come. It's for you versus attracting things that you're told or taught to need. I've redefined happiness, I've redefined success, I've redefined peace and actually live it. And it's different from what the world might want from me. And so aligning self is the goal. And then everything falls into place based on the true centered you from that point. And once again, we talked about it yesterday. When you're your best self, you can go out into the world and show up to fight for many causes. But if you're not together, you're always going to be in battle with yourself. So these are just a few steps that I like to take and practice to empower myself against so many systems and against so many opinions about this world that we live in. I could say so much. I could write several novels and books about it, but there are healthy forms of rebellion. There are healthy forms of empowerment, and it's not an easy process, but starting slowly and being patient with yourself is where it begins. So I'm inviting you to the table, which has always been your table, to challenge yourself to become a better version of yourself so that you can show up and glow up for your family, your community, and the world. Because we need you at your highest frequency. The world is in despair and in need of guidance and true leadership and deprogramming of a lot of things that exist, systems that need to be dismantled and dysfunction that needs to be reversed. So this is one way I stay aligned and I feel, and often people say I appear youthful or at peace, but it wasn't always like this for me. We all have issues. We all have demons that we're fighting. We all have systems that we're battling. We all have thoughts and expectations from others that we constantly take into consideration. So when you can find what works for you, obviously, I guarantee you that every area of your life will improve, and not only will you survive the madness, but you will thrive within it and then become a leader. So on that note, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, I have promised during this 3-day challenge to be here with you since we got time in this quarantine season. We're still quarantined over here anyway. But I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what time yet because I'm going to be in an editing session. But challenge yourself. Do something that shakes yourself up and feels uncomfortable, because on the other side of that is great reward. That's my last statement. Someone asked about new music. I do have new music out. You Got Me Part 2 is out. If you love 90s R&B mixed with a contemporary twist, dropped that in April. Last month I dropped, actually in late May I dropped, it's now July, Space and Time, which is more of an alternative sound, pop sound, healing music. And that's out on all digital and streaming platforms. I actually posted it in my story today. But working on the 10th independent project and 10th album, but overall 14th project. And it's really different, and I love it. So I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Get your questions ready. It's really a different lighting scene right now from when we first started. But much love, and sleep tight. All right. I can't wait to see your post for day 2. Peace, love, and blessings. Good night.